riding out for the champion trainer. Who'd have thought it?
Right then, just listen up a minute so you all know what's going on. They want to do a nice piece of work back today, and then let them run on in your hands, but all stay together. Go on, see you down there.
He's riding Alfred's tower, so he's a bit steady and he'll be safe on that one. Basically, they'll be sprinting over 5 furlongs and then go and canter up over the hill as well, which we'll have a look at in a minute.
Lucinda, that goes well, doesn't it? Went really nicely. Okay? All right? All right, Luke? Yeah, fine. Yeah. Did he hang at all? No, flying, wasn't he? No, that's what I thought. It just looks like it's the first time he's been down in mine, so he'll learn. But it just looks like look, he wants a trip, doesn't he? All right, then go on up the hill.
See why the horses are so fit here. You can really feel Alfred's tower pushing with his hindquarters, straining as we go up this steep hill. Letting the horses cool down, we made our way slowly back to the yard.
Paul, who do you see as the most likely challenger to your title?
I mean, obviously there's several yards that have good string horses do well. David Pipe, Alan King. I think they're probably the going to be closest. I mean, Peter Bones had a wonderful time in the summer, always does. Probably hasn't got the ammunition on through the winter and the number of horses, but always does well in the summer, and he's always in front this time of year. Alan King, obviously, got a huge string of hand. He's got nearly 200 horses, so, and he does incredibly well with what he's got. So he's going to be probably the biggest danger. I think I think he'll be the one to be a challenger, just on numbers.
Have you noticed, you've got some wonderful horses, you've got some good owners, have you noticed with this credit crunch that people starting to feel the pinch?
Well, touch wood, not at the moment, but you know, hopefully in a position I've got some of the best owners there are, if not the best owners there are, and you know, haven't come across any problems at the moment, and you've still got some nice orders to fill if we can find the horses. So you know, obviously very, very lucky. But I suppose being at the top of the tree at the moment, we'd like to think we're in that situation.
And Paul, who do you think the best jump jockey is riding?
Again, that's a sort of not an unfair question. It's difficult because there's so many good jump jockeys. I mean, AP's been a marvellous jockey, champion jockey for a number of years, and he's obviously very, very good. And Ruby, you know, we think he's one of the best, obviously. But you know, they've all got their own different ways of doing things, and the different jockeys and little ways. But you know, both brilliant jockeys. I wouldn't like to say one's better than the other, really. I mean, AP's obviously been champion for a number of years. He's had the backing of Martin Pipe, and then you know, Ruby's obviously been staying in Ireland, so he's never going to threaten for the championship. You know, he was saying the other day, funny enough, who when AP one day retires, who will be the next sort of champion jockey, and that's an interesting question, that really.
There are plenty of top jockeys about, but few with the natural ability of Sam Thomas.
So how often do you come in here, Sam?
Get in once a week and sometimes twice a week. Especially now this time of year when everything's getting schooled and getting ready for the season, so it's all for my benefit at the end of the day. So
it must be brilliant though to come into these. I mean, whatever horse you ride out is very, very good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's unreal. I mean, everything I've sat on this morning, you know, it was they're all going to win their races, and touch wood, they all jump very well as well, you know, so it's more a pleasure to come down here than anything, you know. It's they all jump fantastic and really enjoy each morning coming down here.
What sort of relationship have you got with Ruby? Is it a good one? Is it just a working one, or you're friends as well? Or?
Yeah, obviously I've known him through the weighing room before I came to Paul's, and we've always got on then, and you know, he's fantastic to work with, and he's very good for advice on horses that he's ridden, and the same, I can give him advice on horses that I've ridden that he hasn't, so you know, it's all in the best interest really, and you know, touch wood, it works well, and you know, we have a good relationship.
Right, come on then. What's he like to ride for, Paul?
Yeah, grand.
Come on, what's he like?
That's spot on.
Is he?
Yeah, I mean, if you do something wrong, he'll be the first person to tell you. He's not one to hold a grudge or anything, you know, so literally if you mess up, you know, it's forgotten about the next day, you know, so, which is nice, because you can't go out there.
Did you get that?
You know, to ride with something in the back of your mind that you've done wrong. You know, it's forgotten about, you know, and that's the best way to be, so.
I suppose it's like anything, it's like any sport, it's a confidence game, isn't
it? Exactly, yeah, like anything, like you say, like golf or any other sport, you know, you've got to have the confidence, you know, so to be able to go out there and ride each race, you know, with confidence is what you need, and that's what Paul does to you. You know, he gives you that confidence.
It's only his third time. He's novice, but he's good, all right? And Kingsfontein, just quietly, Nick, all right? Well, that's a different kettle of fish, that horse today. That's better. Right, whoa, go the other way. We'll put the jump again, we'll put the ditch in then.
So every horse you've got, schools in here first before it goes outside?
Yeah, I mean, a large percentage wouldn't even go outside and school. All the old horses would school in here. The novices, we like to give a flip outside, just get them sharpened up. And the novice chasers.
Whenever I seem to read about a horse of yours, it's had a wind operation.
Yeah. Oh, we probably, during the summer this year, and we've probably done 22 or 3, which is a sort of normal percentage, and it's just anything that we think is struggling with its breathing. We've learnt they want sorting out straight away rather than getting secondary problems.
But it doesn't seem to be that other trainers, I mean, are they slow and catching on, or what? Because, I mean, other people don't seem to have as many as you.
Well, one thing, the hills, you can imagine cantering up that hills are great. If you stand up just in one point on top of the hill there, if you stand up there and listen to them come up there, you can hear straight away if somebody just struggles with its breathing when they get up and take a gulp and they struggle. Or even in here, you can hear them making a noise, and you listen to the jockeys as well. And you know, if you think you run probably 170, 180 horses a year for a year, 20 is not a huge number. But we have learnt that, as soon as you think you have a problem, you want to sort it out straight away. Ocelot's a great example. That I ran him at marker racing last September, and for whatever reason, as a novice, he didn't make a noise, had the summer off, came back in and started making a noise. It's something we find that for whatever reason, you let him down in the summer, start again, and also make a noise. So we ran him at marker racing, he choked up, made a noise, sent him in for the breathing operation. He's won 5 out of 6 since, beating a short head the only time we won the Galway Plate. So once he could breathe, massive improvement, and we found that with a lot of them. And a lot of things, they jump better, they're healthy, and it's like you can imagine, if you can't breathe, if you're struggling with your breathing, you're not going to feel well and you're not going to perform.
Paul, obviously down here in the middle of beautifully picturesque countryside, do you think it's a massive benefit not training in one of the major centres?
Yeah, I do. I think it's definitely good to be here on our own, all our own facilities, all our own staff. The whole thing works really well, and I wouldn't swap being here for anything.
Do you think it's a coincidence then? I mean, you, David Pike, Philip Hobbs, all down here in the West Country.
Yeah, I think very similar setups and the way we do things, but I'm sure it's a big plus not being, as you said, in the big centre. Nothing against Lambourne and Newmarket, because they've done incredibly well over the years, always will do well. But it's a different sort of environment and setup to what we've got, and obviously what we've got works, and I wouldn't swap that or give that up for anything.
A lot of trainers moan about, or complain continually about, the class of the courses, in the sense of the accurate going descriptions. It must be a nightmare for you. I mean, a lot of your horses want a bit of dig in the ground. You go then find it's good to firm when they said it was good to soft. Do you think that things are getting better on that front?
Yes and no. To start with, I wouldn't want the job of being a clerk of the course, because that must be an impossible job, trying to keep everybody happy. And I'm sure there are some clerk of the courses, and we won't mention any names, especially the younger ones, that are certainly influenced in the going they give by their superiors, as we say it. And it is frustrating. For last year, for example, air was on, and we were continually told the ground was heavy, waterlogged, wouldn't dry out. Get up there on the Friday, and the ground was fast. You come Scottish on the Grand National Champion Hurdle Day, the ground was very fast. And when you have to send good horses to a good meeting all the way up there and find that out, it's really frustrating. And when people make bad mistakes like that, it is frustrating. But on the whole, it's good. You get to know the clerks of the courses from tracks and who to believe and who not to believe. And I've been in the game long enough to know, just by following the weather patterns, what ground's likely to be anywhere. And so you use your own knowledge. But I think it's improving on the whole.
And the overall integrity, the way racing's run these days, inside information, privileged information, all this thing we're not allowed to give. Do you think that's changed your sort of outlook on the way you do things?
No, I don't really. And I'm no different to what I am. I mean, we've always been up front and open, and don't even think about issues like that really. I don't think this way you can bet to lose has been good for the game, because that's always going to cause controversy. That's probably not been good for the game, but it's there and we have to live with that. But I think everybody plays it straight, and it's always a grey area what information can get out and stay in. And when you've got loads of people involved in the sport, and
working with horses day for day. Little bits and pieces are always going to be getting out, but that's all part and parcel of the game. Everybody's got opinions, and we mustn't stop opinions.
And every trainer I ever speak to, they say, oh, well, it's all down to the staff, the backroom boys. Clifford Baker, tell us about him.
Well, Clifford's been with me now for 10 or 12 years, his head lad. He was with David Nicholson for 19 years, so you know, his experience is second to none, and he thinks like I do and works hard.
You must have seen quite a few things change since you've been here, Clifford.
Oh, a lot of changes since I came down 12 years ago. We only had 40 stables then. Now we've got 115, so that's a big change in the start.
It makes the whole thing completely different, your whole outlook, you know. It must take an awful lot of organising.
Oh, yeah, it does, but between us all we get everything organised. We know what we want to do with them all every day and just get on and do it. We've got good staff, plenty of staff, so we can do what we want.
Looking at the horses in the yard, it must be so exciting. You must have to pinch yourself in them. When you come out, there is not a bad horse in the yard.
No, hopefully not. I mean, that's the plan. I mean, it's nice the ones that are going to go on to go novice chasing, and then you got all the ones off the flat to go hurdling and all that. I mean, it's always very exciting. I mean, if you can't get excited about that, you wouldn't be doing it.
What's it like then having Harry Findlay as an owner, especially though he's got the best horse in the yard?
Well, obviously he's a really colourful character, and he's a real enthusiast. He's different, but he's a really good guy, and he looks after everybody. He's got a heart of gold, and he gets an enormous amount of pleasure from the game. And it's just something different to, you know, it's probably some of the owners of the past. He's a different outlook on life, but you know, he loves coming down. He sees the horses once a fortnight, and he enjoys every minute of the racing. And you know, in a funny way, I think he's been very good for racing. He's been certainly good for the yard and the staff and everybody. And it's great to train winners for him.
As a big punting owner, we know that. Does it put any more pressure on you? Does he say, is this horse going to win today? Or
never says that. He uses his own, what I call intelligence, his own thoughts on what he thinks. You know, he knows my horses. He probably knows everybody's horses on form, and obviously different trainers do jobs differently. And he probably knows whenever ours run, especially novice chases, are always ready to go and win, and he follows you know, what he thinks himself. So no, it doesn't put any pressure. I would never let that worry me anyway. If somebody wants to bet, that's entirely up to them. We're always doing our best. All the horses are always trying to win, and everybody knows that.
And just finally, Paul, we haven't really, the National Hunt season hasn't really got going, but for your standards, you've had a fantastic summer. You've run many more horses than normal. You've already had X amount of winners on the board. You must be looking forward to the winter.
Yeah, I mean, we normally have sort of 5 or 6 winners by the 1st of October, and we've actually had 32 this year, and a great strike rate. And the ones we ran did incredibly well. So we're already sort of gearing up some for next year, and probably have another 15 for next summer. I think it's good. There's some good races and some good prize money, and this year it kept raining, so the ground was good. So yeah, no, that was a good start. And you know, we always think Chepstow next week's the start of the season for us, and to start off with 32 winners is good.